Morning, guys. Happy New Year to you. First week of January, and I don't know where you're at, but here in Tennessee, it's in the high 50s, 60s, mid 60s, and I am loving it. We went through a cold spell last week to where it was down into single digits for 2 or 3 days, and you couldn't just about be outside. It was so cold, but anyway, in today's video, and I'm sure a lot of other YouTubers and a lot of other people have talked about New Year's resolutions, and you shouldn't have to wait for a new year to get to want to change things. You shouldn't say, oh, well, I'm going to do that on Monday. I'm not going to sit here and say I've never done that. I'm not going to sit here and say I've not eaten a big Reese Blizzard on Sunday because I know I'm going to start cutting back on food on Monday. I've done that 100 times. I'm just saying you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to say, well, let's wait till January and then I'll start losing weight. Then I'll start exercising. Then I'll start reading more. Then I'll start investing in myself. And you're going to hear, if you're on this channel from here on out, you're going to hear me reference Jim Rohn. That's Jim, R-O-H-N. Look him up online. Look him up on YouTube. A lot of videos, a lot of books that he's put out, and it's just everything he says makes sense. It's simple, but it makes sense. And the big thing he talks about, or not the big thing, because it's all the big thing, but a lot of stuff he says is, if you want change in your life, you have to make change. And instead of having a wishbone, have a backbone. And so that basically means just make stuff happen that you want to make happen, and you can do that. You don't have to rely on somebody else to do something for you. If you want to get more knowledge, start reading a book. You don't have to read the biggest book out there is. You don't have to read every book somebody recommends to you. You can pick your own book up and read, and something that you've seen, something you wanted to read, or and you can look online, at business books, personal development, whatever you like to read, read it. But anything that you read that is going to help you achieve what you want to achieve, do that. And, this past year, I started reading. I've read a bunch of books, and I love it. I can't wait for the next one to come in. All this knowledge is out there, and yeah, we can watch a lot of YouTube, but the information is in those books. I listen to Brad Lee, and, it seems like with all entrepreneurs that's on his podcast and other podcasts and other business things, they all talk about reading. It's 2023, and the speech that I heard Jim Rohn give first was from like 1981, I believe. And what's he's talking about? Reading books. It's not changed. And, he talks about instead of having a wishbone and wishing for something to happen, have a backbone and make it happen. Take that first step. It doesn't have to be a big step. And something that I would recommend is, instead of looking for a yearly goal, and this is something that, he talks about too, but instead of looking for a yearly goal, look for a daily goal. Hold yourself accountable every day. Did I get up and did I read this morning? Did I exercise this morning? Was I active for 30 minutes? Did I drink my water? Did I call that person that I've not talked to in a few days? Or have I called that person to check on them? Have I did everything I could for my business? Have I did everything I could for my family? Make it a daily goal. So much that to where when you are done for your day and you've took a shower and you put them pajamas on, you can look back through the day and you can say, okay, I did that and I did that. And that's one step closer to get me to where I want to be. You want to exercise? Jim Rohn talks about it. You want to exercise, you don't have to go walk a mile or 2 miles or 3 miles the first day. Just get started. Walk around the block. Walk around your yard. Map it out on Google Maps and say, okay, well, let me just walk 5 or 6 times around the yard, and it'll let you know if you're distance minded, how far that is. But if you just want to get started, it doesn't matter. Just walk 5 or 6 times. And that's a start. Exercise just a little bit. I do DDP yoga, and I have a beginner's class on my saved for later or watch later on YouTube, and that's what I'm starting with. And 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I first found out about DDP yoga and I was going to start doing it, I thought, man, this is great. I love stretching, and this is like exercising and stretching. And, I did it for a few weeks and I quit, got lazy, and, had a lot of stuff happening at life that time, but I just let that be an excuse. Well, fast forward 2 years and more weight's on me, and hey, I'm not near as flexible now as I was then. And it's like, okay, I got to do something. So try to set your goals as a daily goal, because sometimes I feel like if we have a goal that's a yearly goal, we will tend to slip. Well, I got all year to make it up. I didn't do good this month. I got next month to make it up. I've done it. I'm not going to sit here and lie and tell you that I haven't, because I have. I've done it year after year after year. They say write your goals down and you'll achieve them. Well, that's true if you put your mind to it. I can tell you honestly right now that, the goals that I put forth last year, I didn't meet them. I didn't put the effort in. I didn't put the work in. Could I have? Oh, heck yeah, I could have. I could have put the effort in. I could have put the work in. I could have done a lot of that stuff, but I didn't. I wanted to have this amount of washes for the year. I wanted to have, I wanted to lose this much weight. I wanted to be able to do this and that. And a lot of the goals that I set for myself in 22, I didn't meet. And I know that's why I didn't meet them, because I didn't put in the work. If I can't put in the work, then I'm not going to get the effort. I'm not going to get the results. So, make daily goals, because I was like that. Oh, I got a 6-month plan. I didn't do it for this month. Okay, well, I go hard that second month. Do it daily. Jim Rohn talks about, writing a journal down to keep up with it. I don't do that. Not to say that I won't, but, because I think that it's good. He says that his mentor told him not to rely on his memory. Well, that's a good thought. But I just want to let you guys know, when it comes to goals, when it comes to anything in life, you got to be the one to make that change. Nobody else can make that change for you. A lot of times in life, bad stuff happens to us and it makes us change. And that's a good thing. But you got to take the bad and make it good. And anything that you say that lets you get off the hook of not doing those daily goals is just an excuse. My manager with life insurance, I felt like I was making an excuse to him. And even though he was cool with it, I felt like, okay, well, I had a house fire. So be it. You had a house fire. You can, go get internet somewhere and dial somewhere else. And so, it seems like, oh, I had a house fire and it's just been bad. And you get people like, oh, how's everything going? And, that's a nice concern. And it's like, in my mind, I'm like, it's almost like I'm using it as an excuse, because I got to meet with these different people every day at the house. I got to meet with a different contractor, it seems like, every day, or get a number, or be here and doing something. And that makes me not to, to be able to where I can be, with insurance. And it's like, but that's just an excuse. I go home at night and, I got hours and hours, it's an excuse. So if you want to get to where you want to go this year, just not say this year, let's just say this week, this day. Right now is the time to start that. If you want to exercise, go out in your yard and walk down the street. a lot of times people take exercise and working out as just a chance to get a new wardrobe and some new tennis shoes. Well, I would work out, but my shoes are old. They hurt my feet. Oh, I would work out, but I don't have any clothes for it. Just do it. You know, you can make excuses all day long, but eventually at some point in time, you just have to do it. And that goes with anything. If you read a book, when I read Think and Grow Rich, it had some weird stuff in it, and it was hard for me, but I made it through it when I read it. Find you a book, find a good book, and get you some good knowledge for the new year, a new day, a new you. But don't just sit and wait for, something to happen. Don't let that wishing bone and that wishbone end up affecting you for the rest of your life. I've been there. I've been there in the wintertime just wishing and hoping and praying that my phone rings. That way I could get a job so I could make money. Don't be like that. I think it's the 4 Seasons of Life in Jim Rohn's book. He talks about, in the springtime you work so you can rest in the wintertime, and the wintertime you don't want to be in a bad spot in the wintertime because it's winter, things are dead, and a lot of stuff isn't happening. But, if you work in the spring and the summer, and he ain't talking about a business, he's just talking about anything. But it makes you to where you want to achieve what you want to achieve all year long and not get in a hard spot. Not let something bad happen to you and you not be able to overcome it because you can. So, I just wanted to get on here and talk to you guys about resolutions. If you screw up one day and you don't exercise, you don't get up and read a book, don't condemn yourself. Hold yourself accountable 100%, but don't make it the end of the world. There's always the next day. If you go out and you're dieting and you just eat the heck, I love Reese Blizzards and hurricanes and whatever they're called around where I live, and I could eat them all the time. But if I get a craving and I go eat one, I'm not going to go, I got the rest of the month. I don't want to wait. I want to wait till February 1st. Don't. Just one day at a time, guys. I'm preaching to the choir when I'm saying this back to you. I'm out of shape. I was talking to my kids the other day on FaceTime, and I said, dang, I think my phone's got a old man filter on it because I'm looking old. And, I'm 43 and I don't want to feel 43. So I'm doing things on a daily basis to change that. So you guys out there with resolutions, whether it be business, exercise, mental, just making yourself better. You may have a good business, but you want to work on yourself. You may have a good business, but you want to be a better dad, a better husband, a better wife, a better son, brother, sister. Start today. Pick up that phone and make a call. Pick up a book and read it. Go outside and walk. Make better choices with food. It's all capable as long as you don't rely on a wishbone and you use the backbone. So that's my time for the day, and I'll holler at you guys later. We'll see ya.